Hey everyone, my name is Cassie Howard and I'm coming to you from my car. I'm so excited to be able to share tonight with you my journey, my struggle with endometriosis and chronic fatigue and all the things. So I will go back, tell you kind of all the in between and everything really quick. So back in college, I had no idea what I had until a friend, I was passed out in pain, and I'm sweating because it is super hot here in Missouri. I was passed out in our computer lab room in pain, and I had a friend come up to me and she said, Cassie, this is not how you're supposed to be feeling. And I said, well, this is just my body. I just didn't catch it in time. I didn't take my medications before. And she's like, no, you should not be in that much pain. Look at all this. And I said, or she had, asked me to go to the doctor, and I said, okay, why not? And so I went to the doctor, and that is where he had said, it sounds a lot like endometriosis. We're just finding out more information on it. What we can do is figure out all these medications. Yes, there's probably going to be side effects, but we're not going to know how it's going to react to your body until we try and figure out which one's going to work for you. Mm-hmm. Or we can opt for surgery, and surgery is where we can go in, figure out if it truly is what you have. And if so, maybe I can try to get it all. And I said, okay, I would much rather do this and figure out if that's truly what I have or not. Mom life, y'all. And so went in, had the surgery, and found out I had stage 4 endometriosis. And I had PCOS, I had cysts, I had a bloody right ovary, all kinds of things. Was not pretty. Well, with endo, and again, I didn't know, because I didn't know, what I had was infertility is a huge issue. And so after a surgery, you're more likely to get pregnant. So we've had our first daughter, which is back here, and had her, and then my pain was away for a hot minute, and then my pain started coming back and stronger. And we had just moved to Wichita, Kansas. I looked into different doctors and things like that, found another one that I really loved, but she kind of gave me the same results. All these medications, or we can opt for surgery, and maybe I can get it all this time. Maybe he missed some or whatever. And so I said, okay. But she also said, if it's that bad, we might have to do a hysterectomy. And I said, nope, because we at least want 2 children. And so went in, she did whatever she could, and found out all the same results. And that was when we decided to have our second, because we didn't want to not be able to have another child. So that's where we had her, and today's her birthday. And so had her, I felt great for a hot minute. It was like Groundhog Day again, and my pain came back and came back stronger. And at that point, we were moving to Springfield, Missouri. We were a military family, and we're not that anymore, but moving was, part of life. And so we moved to Springfield, Missouri, and that's where we're at now, and I love it here. But Plexus kept coming up in the background, and I pushed it off, because why in the world would supplements help me when 2 failed surgeries didn't? And so I pushed it off, and I was not a nice person about it. So I don't know, I started joining, my pain was back, so I started joining all different sites trying to figure out what I could do for my body. And when I did that, I noticed I was looking at the Endo Sisters and things like that on Facebook, and a lot of the women kept talking about this Endo Center in Atlanta, and I was like, all right, so I'm gonna look into it, because it's supposed to be the top doctors, top surgeries, top everything. And so looked into that, had my appointment, everything ready. And when something's just not right? I did the endometriosis diet, all the things, prepping me for that, and something just didn't settle. And so I was looking back in those Facebook groups, and I noticed that a lot of the women they went to the top hospital, the Endo Center in Atlanta, because my mother-in-law lives there, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be great. But a lot of these women were going, and they were having the top doctors with the top surgeons, then surgery and everything, and coming back saying in these groups, is anybody else having pain? I just had this doctor, had this kind of surgery. Anybody else? And I noticed it wasn't just one person, it was several. And I was like, all right, Lord, I've been praying hard. If this is not my answer, please tell me. Because the last thing I want is a hysterectomy or something else that I'm gonna have to struggle again. And here I am trying to find answers and hope. And Plexus kept coming up, and it kept coming up, and I kept pushing it off. And I don't know what it was that day that God softened my heart, but I am so grateful that he did, because I kept thinking I knew what was right. I kept slamming the door in his face, thinking that this is not what I need, Lord. Like, this is not it. And I gave in. and I'm so grateful that I did. That was 4.5 years ago, and I've not had and if you don't know what endo is, it's just short for endometriosis, but a lot of women suffer from it, and it is, chronic fatigue. It is, everybody's body is different, but a lot of us have the same symptoms. So it's horrible abdominal pain. Like, I would sleep with my heating pad. My husband would take care of our kids. My back would be like literally hurting all the time. I felt like bricks just kept falling on it. I felt like there was a knife stabbing in my stomach all the time. Constipation, chronic fatigue, bloating out I looked like I was pregnant. It's called endo belly. And I just didn't feel great. And, after I started taking them, I was going to prove that that these products were not going to work for me. That was my whole purpose. I was going to prove that my body was just too bad and it was not going to work. And God has another story, doesn't he? He always does. And I started taking it my first month, and I passed out again in pain and honestly more chronic fatigue as well. And when that happened, I woke up. My girls were coloring and doing their thing. And I remember my phone sitting beside me, and I'm like, all right, I'm taking a picture of this, because if this is truly what God is trying to have me do, then I need to do it correctly, and I need to do it right. And I need to give it the chance that it deserves. So I did from then on out. And it was a moment that I will always have, and I'm so grateful for that picture, because it reminds me of where I was and where I'm at now. Like I said, that was 4.5 years ago. I've not had to go to the doctor for endometriosis. I have not had to take pain medications for it. I have not had a ruptured cyst that used to happen all the time. I have not had issues with it. I actually had my appendix removed 2 years ago. And honestly, at first I thought it was it coming back. I was terrified. And so when I went in and they found out it was that, I said, can you please just double check if I have endometriosis or not, because I'm not having symptoms, and I want to make sure that it's not there. And so he did, and he didn't find any signs of endometriosis, which is insane. So if I'm here to tell you that supplements work, they work. I am living proof of it. I'm living proof that once you get to the root of your issue, you're going to feel better. And that's exactly how I feel. I felt like here I was trying to mask it with surgeries and medications and other things, and they never worked. And then I finally take supplements because my body was obviously starving for them, and I feel great. I'm the mom. We went to the safari and everything today. I am living with them now versus struggling and hoping and waiting for daddy to come home. So I hope that you come in today or tonight and just open your heart and your mind to this possibility, because it could be the answer you've been praying for, the same thing that I was. So thank you for allowing me to come tonight and sharing my story, because that's what I love about this, and sharing just the possibility that maybe you need these products too. I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you. Bye.